I know this video is probably going to come a little bit late because I'm not going to edit it in time. In my head, I said I wanted to post every Friday, but I will try and post every week. That's still going to happen. It's just work is really why. I think once I have a set schedule, so hopefully when I get in uni, it will probably be easier to film because I'll know what time I should film and what time I should edit every single week in order to make sure that I post on time. But a lot of people outside of YouTube, people in my year, people in the year below, some people in the year above, asked me how I got into medical school or how I got interviews before, because obviously I only got into medical school a week ago. They asked me like, how did you get into interviews? How did you prep for medical school? How did you prep for interviews? This video right here is going to be a quick overview. And I thought, hey, what's the best way to overview something that happened over a period of time in an order of some sort and to show people what really happened? In fact, no, before we even get there. Now, the quick thing is, I've wanted to do medicine pretty much as long as I can remember. And I was going to put in a fact about me to do with medicine, to do my family history, but I'm not even going to say that actually. I will put that in a later video, because sometimes with people, once they hear this certain fact, they will completely disregard everything you say afterwards just because they're like,
oh, of course you're going into medicine.
Medicine isn't something that's handed to you. You don't just do medicine because you're smart. You don't just do medicine because you love science, because you have to be a people person too. You don't get it wrong, you need to be smart enough to, study and stay on top of your studies, but you can't just... The people that do medicine aren't necessarily always the smartest people in the room. I think that's a huge misconception that I think my story might help dispel a bit. Not to say that you can do medicine if you're not doing well in school, because you probably can't. And by not doing well, I mean as in like, if you like, you have to be realistic, but you also need to realize that, it's not always gonna... Your grades aren't always gonna be the A-star. Like, it's a progress. It's progress. But anyway, up until I did my GCSEs, right? Because I'd always wanted to do medicine, I looked up what subjects I need for medicine. I asked my teachers, what subjects do you need for medicine? Because I always thought the subject you're going to need the most is biology, because medicine is to do with the body, to do with the human body, and biology is the study of life. And you look at anatomy and biology a little bit, but you're looking at the human body quite a lot in biology as well. You're looking at how the heart works. We look a little bit about ventilation at GCSEs. You look a little bit, if I remember, the digestive system. You have to be able to quote that from the mouth to... So I was thinking, yeah, it's going to be biology. And then lo and behold, unis don't actually care about biology that much. They do, but there are some unis that are like, oh, you could take physics instead, or just do well in physics instead. for A level, obviously, because I was trying to think ahead. I was thinking, okay, if I want to take these subjects at GCSE, I need to do well in them. I mean, at A level, I need to do well in them at GCSE. So I looked at the subjects that you need to do well in. Tell me why the most important subject is chemistry. I'll wait. I was dumbfounded because of the fact that I thought, but what do you need it for? You know, then I thought about it. I was like, oh, medication, and then all of the biochemical processes in your body, which is quite a lot of processes in your body. And I thought, okay, I get it, but I still thought biology should be the most important. But what made it worse is I was flopping chemistry. Like flopping chemistry. Because I struggled with it. Guys. I struggled with chemistry at GCSE. And when I normally talk, I like to blame it on my teachers. I can't blame it entirely on my teachers. But, you know, having good chemistry teachers is an essential tool. But I'm not going to pretend I was the most focused at GCSE. Up until like halfway through year 10, I wasn't. And in my school, we start, shout out to Dartford Grammars, we start school in, we start GCSEs in year 9. So I spent a year and a half doing jackal. Not good advice, by the way, because I had to remake up all that time I spent in year 9. I had to like double study in year 11. You thought I would carry that lesson through, but wait till we talk about sixth form, right, in year 12. But I got to year 11. I made a decision that I was gonna try and ace chemistry. So I studied. I used this amazing tool when I was in year 11 called Seneca. They're not sponsoring me. They should, because of how many people I have told about Seneca, but they're not sponsoring me. But anyway, Seneca is this amazing tool where you can, as long as you have Wi-Fi, you can use it. They already have different subjects installed on the website or on the app from different boards using like AQA, Edexcel for different subjects, i.e. you could get AQA GCSE geography on there. I used that to help me with geography because I struggled with geography a little bit as well. You can get AQA chemistry, Edexcel chemistry, and basically it will take you through the entire curriculum, but it will like give you a little bit of information, maybe a little bit more, and then quiz you on what you just heard. So it is constantly testing your information as you go through. And after I did my GCSEs, this wasn't here when I did my GCSEs, but it was also a really good tool. They do past paper questions on there as well. I'll actually put the link for Seneca in the description because it was a really, really, really useful thing. And if I had found it in like year 10 or year 9, I could have done better in chemistry and the sciences. Not that I did badly, but you know, it would have been cool to say, hey, I got a 9. Oh, look at me, I got a 9 in chemistry. Like, it would have been cool, but I'm happy with my grade anyway. But yeah, because I ended up doing well in chemistry, doing well in biology, I decided to stay with medicine because I was questioning it boy, I was questioning. Anyone who was around me knew that for like half of year 11, if you asked me what I wanted to do, I said diplomacy, because Spanish was the only subject that I didn't revise for. Not that you shouldn't revise for Spanish, but it was the only subject I didn't revise for, and I got an 8. So I was like, I never revised Spanish. It just stuck with me. I don't know why. I think it's because we had this app called Vocab Express, whereas most people, when they use it, they cheat in order to do the questions, because we got set work on it as like homework or classwork or like cover work if our teacher isn't here. And I actually did it properly. Like, I memorized the words, memorized the vocab, and then I learned it properly, and that just stuck with me. Not to say the Spanish is all vocab, there's grammar as well, but the grammar is not that hard. Most of the conjugations are the same. But anyway, moving on. After that, when I got my results, I decided, okay, you know what? I think I can do this. Like, I can do medicine, because one, I didn't do badly at all in biology and chemistry. And because my results overall were not that bad. Not to say that, as I said before, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room to do medicine. But I realized that I definitely needed to kind of be able to show that I can juggle things, you know? And GCSEs have so many subjects that if you can do well across the board, it shows that you are able to assign time out of your day, out of your study time, into subjects proportionally in order to actually do well in them, which is a key skill you need for medicine, time management. So yeah, the problem is, people always say, the problem is, right, when you've done so well at GCSE and you're happy, you're on a high, and then you get to year 12, the amount of effort you put into year 12, at least at the beginning, drops a little bit. Because of the happy high you're in, you're still like cruising across. Sorry, it's early, guys. You're like cruising across thinking, okay, I did well at GCSE, I'm so happy. And then you don't really put enough effort into your year 12 work, because in your head you're already a bit of a genius, whether you want to admit it or whether it's subconscious. You feel like you're a bit of a genius, so you don't actually put in enough effort. And that's basically what happened to me. Year 12, I played as in the whole year group was a circus. And no doubt there were probably people who were studying hard in year 12 and we just didn't see them. But that's because they didn't want to be seen, to be fair. But me, I did not study properly. I played, I didn't sleep on time. I spent money on food. I mean, okay, no, I'm exaggerating. I did study a little bit, but nowhere near enough. And when I did finally study, I wasn't studying smart. I was just working hard. I was just tiring myself out. But I wasn't studying hard. I wasn't using the right resources. I had to come to a realization that the way you study for GCSEs is not the way you will study for A levels. At least for most people, it's not the same way. You might have to adapt new methods. And it's a good thing to try and learn those methods towards the beginning of year 12. Don't be like me. I found out in my last mocks. But yeah, I just played. And one thing that other people in my year group did, I didn't do, that I should have done, was to start revising for my UCAT earlier in the year. Most people start around January. Some people only need a month for their UCAT. Some people only need 2 months to, study for their UCAT, which is good, great for you, honestly. Like, that is really good. But for me, I always need quite a bit of time to get something as a pattern in my system and really drill it in. I need quite a bit of time. And I didn't leave myself a bit of time. I left myself 2 months. I did my UCAT in August. I started studying properly in May. Maybe even June, actually. I set myself up. And if I could go back, I would have started in January solely because I needed to focus more. But I told myself that I didn't have enough time to study and that I still need to study for school, except I wasn't studying for school. So of course I didn't have time to study. I said once I get on top of school, I'll start studying for my UCAT. But I never got on top of school in year 12. It just didn't happen. One thing that I would advise though is if one of the teachers in one of your subjects is bad, I'm not going to say what subjects for me it was. I'm not going to bait people out because you never know. They might see this video and I don't want them to feel like they should stop teaching because of the video. Don't stop teaching, just learn how to teach better. If they're a very nice person but they're not good at controlling the class, or if you can't understand what they're saying but they're not gonna rephrase, not to say that's what happened, I'm just giving examples. Or if you feel like they generally just can't teach and they don't know what they're going on about, in which case I'm sorry, I don't know how they got to A level, sorry. If you feel like that, then use a textbook. I know it sounds very very obvious. Like, you're probably sitting there like, well, yeah, Vando, why wouldn't I use a textbook? Duh. No, I mean as in use the textbook to study. Don't just read the textbook. Rephrase the textbook. Condense what's in the textbook. Regurgitate what's in the textbook. Right? However you study, whether it's you make notes. Oh, don't make too many notes though. Past papers are your best friend. But anyway, now to my UCAT. Wow. Guys, when I say that A-levels, the whole 2 years, I cried more than I had from year 7 to year 11 in those 2 years. But majority of those tears were shed between August 2019 and October 2019. And here's why. I didn't study for my UCAT properly. If I could go back, I say I would have, but God knew what he was doing anyway when he let me waste time and not study properly. He knew what he was doing. I mean, he had to, because I don't. I'll probably do a video later on how not to study for UCAT and how to do so. But a quick overview is that I ended up getting an average of 590. For people who don't know what that means, it means bad. It means bad. How the UCAT is graded, it's not like a pass-fail thing. Everybody gets a score. Apparently, you get about 200 or 300, I can't remember how much, for just showing up. So I basically got 290. And the thing about it is, every year they put everybody into deciles after the whole cohort of people doing their UCAT that year have finished. They put you into deciles. Everybody in the first 2 deciles is just like, it's not like an immediate rejection, but they probably will not look at you. And then from the 3rd decile onwards, it shows how good you are. So 3rd decile is the worst, but of the good deciles. And then the 10th decile is like, not 10th, 9th decile is like, so you see what I mean? And the higher your score, obviously, the better. So, yeah, I got an average of 590. And it was very, very, very bad. I cried a lot because I thought, how am I going to get into medical school now? What am I actually going to do? Most unis probably aren't even going to take me with my UCAT score. And because of the unis I wanted to apply to first, I wanted to apply to UEA, Birmingham, King's, and I think it was either Nottingham or St. George's. Actually, no, it was Nottingham because I applied to St. George's for biomedical science. But I really thought, I'm not going to be able to go into medical school. I'm going to have to resit. I'm going to have to take a gap year and resit my UCAT. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But I really, really, really didn't want to do that. I really, really didn't. My heart was not in it to stay another year. And I didn't know if I wanted to stay a year behind. I mean, if that's what it takes to get in, then of course I would. But for me, I just didn't want that to have to be an option. So I cried. And then on that day, one of my friends, who's in a year above, she's already gone into medicine. Shout out Christiana. I love you. On the day, I told her what I got, and she sent me this link from the medic portal that spoke about unis in the previous year that accept you on a low UCAT score, and sent me a list of unis that take people on a low UCAT score. I didn't properly consider it that day because, you know, I was still pitying myself. Oh, poor me. You know, I was still pitying myself like, oh, poor me. Sorry, me. The world hates me. Oh, why did I do this to myself? Like, you know, I was still throwing myself a pity party. And then I actually looked at the document with my mum. My mum, oh, by the way, my mum was the best in this process. Honestly, I cannot fault her. She was so amazing. Honestly, she would read the medic portal, the student room. She would call her friends who had children who had gone into medicine to give me advice or to help me with interview prep. Like, she would comfort me. She would talk to me about how I should go forward. She helped me find people in my church as well who were going into medicine or who had already gone. Helped me talk to people who were like friends of friends of family friends, and really, you know, spoke to people and got connections in order to find people that were applying to the same unis that I ended up applying to.